Good morning. Hi there. Hello. Good morning. Hello from wherever you're coming from. Good morning, everyone. I'm Erica, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of speed drawing in our sketchbook. So if you are wanting to do a little bit of work in your sketchbook, make sure that you gather your materials and join me, because I'm going to be drawing and you can draw with me as well. I'm going to have pictures on the screen and you can use those as references if you're like not sure what to draw today or you need a little bit of inspiration. We're going to work through some images and we're going to take on a little challenge today. So I don't know if this is your first time joining, but if you have never been to one of our streams before, I know we had a lot of new patrons this month. Hi, Raquel. Hi, Anka. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you have never been to a live stream before, I'll just give you a little rundown of how we do things here. I have reference images that I've curated. I've chosen from, different places, and I try to pick images that I thought kind of like work together. So I don't know, today I was very much inspired by like this idea of objects of affection, just like really pretty things that I thought like complemented each other. Anka, you're coming from Germany. Thank you so much for being here. It's afternoon there. You're coming in from the Netherlands, Yvette. Thank you so much. So it's probably also afternoonish over there as well, right? Thank you guys for being here. Raquel's coming from Texas too, just like me. We are in Texas, and I don't know what I always ask everyone, what's the weather like in your area? The weather today in South Texas is very warm. We are about, I don't know, I think we're expected to reach about 85-ish Fahrenheit today, which is very warm for February. But thank you guys for being here. And while you guys, let me know a little bit more about where you're coming from or what the weather's like in your area. I'd love to hear it. But I'll just give you a little bit more information about how we do our live streams here. So I have my sketchbook today, and I'll share my supplies with you in just a few minutes. And I have an assortment of supplies. Mostly I have markers out right here. So my markers are available, and that's probably what I'm going to lean on today. I thought about doing a little bit of gouache, but I just didn't really feel like getting all that stuff out. To be very honest with you, I was feeling a little lazy. So I have pictures for us to draw from today, and they're going to pop up on the screen when we start drawing. I have a timer, and I'm going to set the timer for every drawing so that we will work a little bit more quick, a little bit shorter time frames. And what else should I share with you? Oh, yes. And if you go back to the original Patreon post that I made for this live stream, you're going to find the reference images that are going to pop up on the screen as well. And so if you really want to kind of like dig into those images and like zoom in and really see all the detail on them, I have my iPad nearby, and my photo references are ready to go here so I can view them from that page and, kind of zoom in if I need to. So let's just check the chat really quickly. It's almost dinner time in the Netherlands, Vet. Wow, nice. Okay. And Datriana's coming in from Chicago. Good morning, Datriana. I think you're in the same time zone as me, so we're kind of in the same boat here. Yeah, I can imagine, Raquel, that it's windy and cool over there. You guys get a lot of wind up in the north part of Texas. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Again, if you want to join me in the drawing, please get your materials and, maybe brew yourself a nice cup of coffee. That's what I'm having here today. You can draw with me. We can draw together. And if you don't feel like drawing, that's okay too. You can work on your own stuff. You can just like tune in and chat. I would love for you to chat. Sometimes when we're drawing, we really don't have the opportunity to chat because our hands are occupied. So, that's okay too if you don't want to chime in on the chat or anything like that. That is all good. So we're going to start drawing in just a bit. I'm going to share with you my materials, and you guys just let me know if there's any problems. Sometimes I forget to unmute my mic, and so just let me know if you see anything come up, okay? All right, let me go ahead and switch over to our drawing camera. Okay, so you can see I have my timer right here, and then I think that we're going to do nothing longer than 10 minutes. So if you've been to one of my recent streams, I think in the past few streams, I've had a really hard time sticking to timers. One of the things that I love about time drawing is that it really forces me to think about the things that I want to include and omit the stuff that I don't think I have time for. So it forces me to make decisions quickly and to prioritize the things that are most important for my practice, the things that I want to draw, the things that I want to focus on. So time drawing is really great. Sometimes I won't time draw if no one is forcing me. I find that I do much better when I am in somebody else's drawing session and they're doing short timers. I can do them too. But if I'm counting on myself to do it, sometimes I'll give myself extra time. But today I'm going to be really firm. We're going to be firm with these timers. I'm going to stop when the timer goes off, and whatever I didn't get to, I didn't get to it. And so I'll share a couple of tips that I like to think about with the short time drawings. As I've been working on these with my daily drawings, which are 15 minutes, I have kind of figured out some things that help me, and I'll share those with you guys as well. What else can I share with you? Oh, I wanted to share with you some stuff about my sketchbook, which I'm like low-key excited about. And so I have been working in the sketchbook since, I want to say it was, I have the date here somewhere. The first date, February 1st. So I started the sketchbook on February 1st, and I was thinking that I would use this all of February, and maybe I would finish it by the end of February. I want to say it's 60 pages. So, I mean, I don't know if that's doable, but maybe, right? But this is the sketchbook I've been working on, and I wanted to share some things with you that I just did recently. And I don't know why I'm really excited about it. I never thought about doing this before. So this is how I started my sketchbook. Generally, I draw on the right side of my book, and my left side usually gets left unused. So you can see on the next page, you can kind of see a little bit of the previous image there. And then, you know, because of that, I tend to leave this page empty, and I'll draw again on the right side. So sometimes those pages don't get used. And then when they do get used, oh, I think I already like messed with everything, but when I do use, oh, here, I'll give you this one as an example. When I do use a full spread like this, sometimes I feel like I can't draw on the other sides. So this spread might get wasted, and so will this one. But what I started doing the other day, and I don't know why this took me so long. I just thought of it, and I'm really excited to play with it a little bit more. I took my drawings. So let me show you here. So I have this drawing, and then I had another drawing behind it, but this one was left empty. So what I did was I glued paper onto it, and now I feel like I can use this page as well. And so I glued white pages on here, which is not rocket science, I know. I just don't know why I never thought of this before. But the thing I'm really excited about is I glued like a paper bag on here. So I have almost like this page I had drawn here, and a lot of it kind of like poked through. So I glued this paper bag on here, and I'm super excited to draw on this. This looks so good with acrylic markers. So if you have acrylic markers and you like to use them, craft paper and acrylic markers look so good together. 10 out of 10 recommend. So I'm excited to have the possibility of drawing on craft paper. So I basically took some time yesterday to just glue paper onto my book. And this one, I kind of love that it has all these like folds and wrinkles. So I'm excited to play with that. I don't know what it's going to inspire, but I put it down as a way to inspire something new in my sketchbooks. So again, just white paper, white pages. You can see the old marker drawing back there. And then I had some little scraps left over, so I just made some shapes and put them on there. But I'm like super excited to draw on those pages. And I'm just curious, do you have something that you do with those pages that you can't really use because they're, you know, kind of showing the drawing from the previous page? Or sometimes I worry that if I draw on those pages, that I'm going to ruin the drawing on the other side. Like it's going to bleed through to the other side. So I don't use them. But yeah, I'm curious if you have like something that you usually do to your pages. I would love to know what you have up your sleeve for that. So today I'm going to be working possibly on some of these prepared pages. I think the craft paper is going to do better with acrylic marker or gouache. So I might not do that because I didn't get out my gouache. I do have my acrylic markers handy though. And then the white pages can do everything and anything. So I might play with some of those as well. But I think I'm going to start over here. And for today's drawings, I have 9 images selected, which is a lot of images. You might want to break this down into about 3 sketchbook spreads or 2 of them, just depending on how big you draw and how big you want to draw on your sketchbook. I think I'm going to shoot for doing 2 sketchbook spreads with like 4 images each. We'll see. We'll see what I can fit on here. Some of the images are really simple and then some of them are a little bit more complex. So let me put up our first one here. So this is the first image. And I think this one is really cute and fun. And I'm going to set a timer for this one. I don't think this one will be that long. So let's just do a little warm up. I'm going to do a 5-minute timer. And the timer starts now. So I think a lot of the images in this batch of images are like pink and reds. So I think that's going to be helpful because you can kind of pull out some colors and just lean on those for the entire drawing session. You won't have to worry too much about grabbing more materials. So again, we're trying to go for fast drawing, and I think this will be helpful if you are feeling a little tight or you tend to work a little bit more you know, careful and you're having trouble loosening up a little bit. I think I don't feel like I have trouble loosening up, but I do think that sometimes I overwork my pages by working too much on them. So this will really force me to speed up a little bit and not labor over details that maybe don't need that. So you can keep an eye on the timer if you like. You can kind of see where it's at right there. A digital timer or like a timer that would be visible on the screen would be super helpful. So maybe I've been like trying to figure out how I can do that with the platform that I use for streaming, but I haven't figured it out yet. So I love these Tombow markers because we get to see like a little ghost of the previous, oh my gosh, I feel my hair ties like cracking under the pressure of my hair, my ponytails. Oh my gosh, that's wild. They just like burst. But yeah, I like these because these do allow you to kind of like layer. And when you layer, you create new colors, which I love. But also you can kind of see the ghosts of those images or those colors underneath or those line work. So I use that as a sketching tool. I can't tell what's happening here. There we go. There we go. We have about 2.5 minutes left. You're just going to do as much as you can. And one of the things that I like to do when I get to about like the 2-minute mark is start thinking about like taking inventory. What am I missing? What have I not put on there yet? What do I really need to make sure that this reads how I want it to read? And so that's what I focus on when I get to that point. I'm going to just really like focus on making sure that I have the things I need. So for me, it's like, I definitely feel like I need the clock hands to show. I might not have time for all of the numbers or to like, because the numbers are like light. So it feels to me like I need to carve that out. I don't think I have time to do all of that. So I will instead try to just focus on having the hands in there to imply the clock. I also like to, at about the 1 minute mark, especially if I want to use color pencil, I want to take some time to bring out my color pencil at that point and use some of that. Again, remember, these are just going to be really sketchy because we're working fast. I'm going to pull out my color pencil now. And we have about a minute left. This is a good time to, again, take inventory. See what you're still missing. See what you still need. Work fast now. There isn't really that much that's dark on here, so I'm just going to give it a little thin outline. Maybe some shadows under the hands of the clock with my dark pencil. I really like to use this. Oop, there's time. Okay. Just going to finish that up right there. Okay, so this is all I was able to achieve. That is my 5 minutes, right? First drawing number 1, 5 minutes. Definitely need a little bit more time, but that's fine. We'll just move forward. Okay, moving on. And maybe I'll give you guys like a minute or so to kind of wrap that up if you're not quite there yet. This is a good time for a coffee and water break. So I'm going to pretty much stick with these 3 colors for the duration of my drawing, at least on this spread. I always like to keep my colors, you know, fairly cohesive or consistent through the drawing. Okay, let me get ready for the next one. All right, I'll give you guys like a couple more seconds just to wrap up in case you need it, and we'll move on to the next one. So goodbye, Kat. Thank you. You were helpful. Here's the next one. I think for this one we can do another 5-minute drawing. 5 minutes on the clock starting now. Let's go. I'm going to just try to place these in a place where I still leave room for the remaining images. Remember we have 9 images, and if you want to break it down into 2, you can fit maybe like 4 on one and 5 on another, or break it down into more. That's fine too. Now I'm using these pinks because I had already designated them for the cat. I don't even think I used this pink on there, but I probably will come back later on and incorporate some of this one into this one because it is gonna look like it's out of place, or I feel like sometimes they look like they're out of place if they don't, you know, make an appearance on all of the drawings. This one I can already tell it's really warm and very like more desaturated. So I'm going to use this as a sort of like brown tone and use that for my shadows. I don't have any green in my color palette yet, so I'm not gonna make those green yet. Maybe later if I feel like I really need to. Sometimes it's nice to have like a pop of a different color, something out of this color family. And in case you are new to our channel and new to my Patreon, just a little heads up, on my YouTube channel, I have a lot of videos about color. We talk a lot about color in my Patreon because it just seems to be like the most popular or the most common questions that I get asked are about color. So if you are interested in learning more about how I use color, check out the other videos that are on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this is gonna be my dark, right, which is my pencil. Ooh, we have lots of time. I feel like I'm making good time on this one, unlike the previous one. The other one was a warm-up, so we were just, you know, getting started. It's okay. These little water droplets on here, which I'm going to find a very generic way to abbreviate them, which are these little like circles, these little like marks. They're not going to be water per se, but we're just going to use them as an abbreviation. I'm going to use my pencil to add some shadows just because I have the time. If I didn't have the time, I probably would omit that. Man, I don't know about you guys, but this week was it felt so long. I'm so grateful for the weekend. Felt like I was so exhausted. And then yesterday I was like, you know, I think I'm going to do a stream today too, because since I forgot about the other one, and you guys, I really don't have a good reason. I'm so sorry. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I was watching Love is Blind, and I was like, oh my gosh. You know when you burst out of like whatever you're doing and you realize that you messed up? That was me. And I was like, you know what, let me like plan a couple more just in case, you know, like in case somebody couldn't make it and they were, you know, expecting me to have that stream on Wednesday and I didn't. And so I just wanted to like make sure I provided a lot of like options. So I think I'm going to do another stream on Wednesday again for anybody who wants to do a little more drawing together. And that'll be an evening stream. So you guys know that I'm a morning person, so I love the morning streams, but I know that some people would rather not. And maybe they prefer the evening ones instead. So I'm going to just try to provide you with both options. Raquel says this season of Love is Blind is so far way better than the last one. Yeah, the last one was awful. Like so not good. And, you know, to be very honest, like I don't know how I'm feeling about all these people on there. So this one is a 5-minute. I don't know if you're already caught up, Raquel, because I don't want to give any spoilers, but I'm caught up, just so you know. It's really easy to get sucked into. And, you know, I already like decided I'm not going to be watching the rest of it. I don't think. Because, I mean, there are some little storylines that I want to see wrapped up, but I hate when they start getting to the wedding thing, like, I'm just not interested in it anymore. Like, they really drag that out, and I'm just not into it. Coffee break. Okay. So that was 5 minutes on those little cherries. You know, I'm looking at them now, and I like how gestural they are, but I really wish there was some red on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring something kind of, it's more pinky, but I'm going to bring this red one into the palette, and I'm going to use it on the next drawing. I don't even know what the next one is, but, and then I'm going to like probably tie some of that red into the other drawings later. So I'm just going to leave it as part of my palette. I just want to introduce it. I feel like so Raquel says then, you feel like the drama, you feel like it is. I know this one I feel like is way more dramatic than the other ones. Like there's some bad behavior. I'm just saying, people not behaving right. Okay, let's put those cherries away and let's get to the next one. This one I feel like is going to be a little bit more time consuming, and this is a great place for me to now introduce the new colors that I have in my palette. So I will make room for that. And then sometimes when I have an image like this that reaches all of the edges, I like to start with some sort of like a boundary that I can use. And so I try to pick a place. I think something like this works well on the edges because it kind of like anchors the entire page, like makes everything feel like connected and cohesive. So I'm going to bring mine here and I'm going to give myself a little structure to begin that one. So then that still leaves me some room here and some room here for my next ones. Okay. So I think this one's going to take a little more time. Let's do a 10-minute drawing here. 10 minutes on the clock for these tulips. They're so cute. And let's get going. Yeah, this one is a lot of stuff. And of course, you know, I always recommend that you pick whatever part of it that you want to draw. You don't need to draw the whole thing. You can draw some of it or part of it. And I think that actually is always better. I feel like it allows you to take ownership of the image. When you start to make changes to it, it starts to become like yours. You know, like we're using these images that don't belong to us, that I didn't photograph these. And if you do like a direct copy of it, you're almost like just, you know, copying the artist who photographed its vision for that subject matter. So I like when we make changes to our own reference images so that way we are, you know, taking ownership and altering to kind of suit our own particular preferences. Oh, you guys, this is a time, I think, the subject of bringing in a green comes in again. Ugh, should I do a green? I think I should. I think it would be a good addition. So I'm just really choosing these like 5 flowers that they're near each other. There was one here that I'm going to leave it out. That's what I'm going to choose. And I was going to say, oh, and I also just want to mention, like, I think 5 is, they say that like 5 is, or odd numbers are better than even numbers. So, you know, when you're deciding what to leave out, you can think about that. It might factor into your decision making. It factored in for me for sure. All right, I'm going to bring in a green, but you know, if I bring in a green, I can't just bring in one. I'm going to need to bring in probably like 3. We'll call those like the greens, but I think we need a light, a medium, and a dark for everything. Even with the pinks, you saw that I did a light, a medium, and a dark. And that really helps me to give me options so that I can create the values on the objects as well. This one's going to allow me to create the light. So I'm also going to have to bring in some of the green into my other drawings as well. So I can probably, you know, just add some in right here as well. There you go. I don't know about this guy, but we'll figure that out later. And this one is back here. I definitely think I need a cool green. So I'm going to look for something that's a little more cool. So here's my green. And I think I'm going to do something like this. Sometimes I'll even like do a little swatch. Yeah, I like that one. Helps me to remember what I used and what I didn't. You definitely don't need to be wasting any time doing this, but I feel like I need to. Okay, I might do one more green and then that's it for my colors. I have a light, a medium, and a dark for everything for the most part. Something here, right here. Okay, we're adding some in here. And one of the other things that I really like here, I have a lot of shadows and I think I can just stack. Like they're really dark, so if I just stack the pink and the green together, it'll give me like a grayish color that I think will work really well in the background there. And since I don't have a lot of time to really dissect everything that needs to go in there, I'm just going to fill in some geometric kind of jagged shapes that are gonna imply leaves and stems, and then I can use that pink as well to kind of overlap them. I'm gonna come back and add a little bit more green to that one. Kind of like the way those two look together. Definitely really dark. Maybe I don't need another green because I can keep that one. Do a little bit more pink in here. And I also have my blue pencil, so I can't forget that. So we can make this look somewhat tulip-y before the timer goes off. Tulip-ish. This one's also really bright pink, so I'm going to come back to that in a sec. See what happens when we layer this one on top. Ooh, I like that. It's definitely warm, but it adds a lot of like a brighter kind of brown to it, which I'm not sure I want that. It feels very cool in the picture, so it needs that one. Let's add them up on there. Okay, I'm going to fill this in here. Filling in this box again. And I still have more colors, so I haven't used them all yet. We have like 2 minutes. I think that's 2 minutes. Yeah, 2 minutes. So I think this is a good time for me to bring in my last pink. I don't think I need too much of it, but I'm going to put it right on the shadowy areas, or the brightest, like darkest areas. And I'm going to use my pencil to define the other shapes. This one's very soft and subtle because it's in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and define this box a little bit. and find some shadows to put in them. I'm just gonna really try to make these flowers pop a little bit by giving them some value, contrast on the outside of them, like here. I think this one would benefit also from a little bit of white acrylic marker, but I'm not sure I'm gonna have time to do that. We have less than a minute remaining, so final touches, final touches. Look at the whole composition, try to bring some of your media all around the edge. We'll see what this ends up looking like. There we go, that's time. That one was a 10-minute. Right there. Yeah, I kind of like it. I mean, it's definitely abstract. You can see it next to the image. You can see that I kind of like zoomed in on these bottom two, and then I brought one of them from the side, and then I just kind of indicated those in the back there. So that's it for that. Let me give you a little bit, like a few seconds to wrap up and maybe get a little water break, coffee break. And just in case anybody would like to know, I'm going to go ahead and write down the numbers of my markers for reference. And in case you are curious about them, these are the Tombow dual brush pens. I use these a lot. They're like my new favorite, which is so funny because I used to be like an anti-marker person. I was not a marker girl and I didn't like them. I just felt like they were so limiting. Like I couldn't mix colors or anything like that. And then once you start playing with them, you start to really realize that, like, I mean, it's different, but you can layer them and that creates like new colors. So there's still a lot of possibilities. You just work in a different system. So, all right, goodbye tulips and hello to this little adorable Polaroid camera. I think that's going to fit perfectly right here. So that's where I'm going to do mine. And I have my colors here. I think that this one should be like a 10-minute because there's a lot of little details. So 10 minutes on the clock right there. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that. Again, draw as much or as little as you like. I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to start with a rectangular shape just to kind of block everything in. This is so fun to draw. Like, I haven't drawn something like this, but I don't know if any of you guys ever had like a Polaroid camera that looks something like this. This is kind of, I guess, I don't know if Polaroid has made like a new version because I don't remember there ever being pink ones when I was a kid, but I am a child of the 80s and I loved a Polaroid camera. I remember that was what I asked my parents for Christmas when I was in 2nd grade, and they got me this Polaroid camera. It looked very similar to this, except all gray. And I think I broke it on Christmas Day, like the exact day I got it. I dropped it and it broke. But I do have a few relics of photos that I took from that. I mean, I don't know if I have those pictures anymore, but I remember seeing them for a long time. I wonder where they are now that I think about it. Where the heck are those photos? Because I saw them. They exist. I just don't know where they ended up. So for this one, oh, you know what? A good way for me to incorporate the green, which isn't even there. I'm going to use the green in place of the gray. Which is kind of, it's very similar in the color. So if you're trying to figure out how you can tie in the colors that you're using, especially if they're not literally in there, or they're not like local colors as they call it when you are looking at the colors that are truly there, that actually exist. Green is not a local color here. So I'm going to use the green as a proxy for the gray that I do see in there. So anywhere I see gray, I can add the green. Just so much good stuff to look at here. I might have to do another little study of this because this is really, I already feel very excited by all the things in this image. And I might want to spend a little bit more time on this one. Maybe make a painting of it. I'm going to wait on that side there. Yeah, I don't love how close these got to each other, but it's fine. We'll survive. Let's see, we need something really dark for the little reflections and the lenses. So I'm gonna use my pencil for that. But there are lights in there, so I don't want to go too aggressive in those areas because I want to make sure I leave room for those lights that I see. Again, I just kind of scan the whole image for dark, so you're going to see me kind of bouncing around here. Just looking for those dark bits. And then I'll give this a little outline too. We have 5 minutes. Wow, I think I'm doing okay with time here. A little concerned. I don't know why I hadn't even paid attention to the actual like stuff that was happening in here, and now I'm a little concerned that I didn't make room. There we go. Let's just put that in there. Put some shadow on the pink. It's not going to have too much, but there are a few facets or like changes in direction that might need to be addressed. Oh, there's also pink here. And for the gray, if I need to add any more dimension, I'll use this other green. Kind of an unusual pick, but I have it, so I might as well use it. We have a little less than 5 minutes. We're wrapping up, getting close to the end. Might be a good time to take stock of what you need, what you've forgotten to put in, what you haven't gotten to yet. So now I'm going to try to include some details. So a little bit of work in these like textures. And if you don't get to that, that's okay too. I think this would actually look really cool and kind of impressionistic if you just had the shapes and not really much of the details. I think that could be kind of cool. There. Like 3 minutes left. I'm almost tempted to say that I might finish early. I guess I'll put some of this little, what is that, like a lanyard or something in here, just because I have some extra time. I'm gonna make it go, or make it look like it goes underneath the cherries and the what are those things called? Those things, you know, the tulips. Because that's just kind of the nature of where everything landed. So I'm going to draw as if it's behind. Chunk of darkness there. Was that a little gnat I saw? I think I saw a gnat. Ew. Okay. Almost wrapping it up there. Kind of, I don't know how I feel about that, but we'll just leave that. I'm gonna do a little bit of shadow with the blue here. Have to define it now from the one behind it. So I'm just gonna outline the cherry a little, and actually when I do, I have a little bit of time, so less than a minute. Hold on, maybe not that much time. I can do a little bit of this red here to define it from the ribbon that's floating around it. Whenever I do other people's drawing sessions, I use my extra time to go back to the other ones if I need to. Okay. So that's time on that little camera. She is cute, I have to say. And that was a 10-minute drawing. 10 minutes on that one. So here's what I have so far. Now, the next image, I'm just giving you a couple of minutes to like wrap up. I think for the next one, I'm going to move over to another page. So I'm going to come over here. See, like that's great, but I don't know if I want to draw on top of it because I'm going to have it here. So let's try one of these. Yeah, let's try one of these crafty pages. I'm going to try this one here. Actually, I think that might be better for painting. Wait, I definitely want a craft paper page, but okay. I mean, I think I can do it. I think I can try it. I don't know. I'm feeling like that might be too big, and I think I'm thinking of drawing the next one really big. Let me show you the next image. That way you can give it some thought. So this is our next image, and you can kind of like plan accordingly. So this is where I was over here. You know, I think I'm just going to go to the next page. I think that'll be best for me, just because I'm thinking that if I do these, I would like to do them pretty big. Like, I think for the phone, I want it to go over. I should just do it, right? Let's just do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the phone here. And I think I'm just going to make it one giant image. So I'm going to use my, since I'm switching to another page spread, I don't feel bad about like swapping out my tools and like starting with new markers entirely. So I feel like I can have a new color palette. But the phone, and I don't even know if these are, they feel a little empty. I don't know if they're going to work for me, but we're going to try. I'm getting a bad feeling. I have a bad feeling that I don't have enough like ink in here. We'll just see what we can do. And we will just pivot as needed. If we need to, we pivot. So let me just get a little bit. Sometimes I like to, especially now with all these like little pages that I glued in, which I mean, I love it. It's a little bit like thick now. And so the pages kind of don't lay super flat anymore, but I love that about it. So let's go. All right, so the phone is up next. It's really cute. Let's try this. I think we should do a 10-minute spread or 10-minute session for this one. So 10 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna leave the clock right there. And let's see what we can do. I'm gonna try my best to draw this pretty big. I always like to block in first. Usually I just do this with shapes, but I'm a little worried that I'll run out of space, so there. I think this should be a little bit, there we go. That foreshortened circle though. And for the young ones in the group, this is a rotary phone. I actually did not really grow up with these, but I remember seeing them when I was younger. Most people didn't have these, or I guess the people that I knew didn't have these. But not the ones that like spun like that, but I do remember them existing. Go with this guy. There we go. And with objects like this, especially things that have like a lot of symmetry, they really, really stress me out, because symmetrical things that, you know, this like we divide in the middle, like this half is supposed to look like that one. For me, I always tend to get those just a little bit wrong, and it's just enough to really drive me crazy. So I hate symmetrical things, but somehow I'm always putting myself in a position where I'm drawing them because I'm really smart. Okay, so the beautiful thing about these markers is that they are opaque, and I can use another one to cover up other things. So I don't really have to plan for like lights and darks, because I can just directly draw on top of them. But the one thing that I do use quite a bit that I don't really get a chance to with these markers is like the under sketch. Like that is helpful to me. And you don't really get to see that when you're doing alcohol markers, because they just kind of all blend together. But with water-based markers, I can see my sketchy lines, and that helps kind of guide me. So we'll just try our best here. Also, objects like this are just so, they can be quite challenging because they have really like subtle curves that can be hard to capture correctly. Let me grab a couple more that I think I could use here. So I'm going to use this one for my darks. Oh, I should have done, wait, I'm not quite ready for that yet. all this kind of blended together, and then it starts to separate again. Okay. Put that in. If I mark in the little metal thingy, I think that'll help me to make sense of where I am at any given point. I always like to have some sort of like an anchor. I always feel like this is like an object that I can identify easily because it stands out from the rest of the colors or whatever shapes. And it helps me to like reorient myself, like where am I in this drawing? So, I think I can use this here too. And another thing that I like to do, because I'm more, I always say that I'm a lazy artist, but I really feel like it's more like I tend to be very, or I try to be efficient. And what I do is if I have, I lost my point on this guy. Okay, let me try a different one. See if I have another option. If I have a white marker out, for instance, I'm gonna scan my image and try to find all the bits of white so I can put them in while my marker is out and in my hand. So you'll see me kind of bounce around the page when I have, like, even though I'm working on one section, I just move to another section so that I can use this color while it is open and it is in my hand. So I do tend to bounce around a little bit. I know I dipped my finger in something really wet, so I'm trying really hard not to put it down because I will leave a mark, I'm sure. And we have less than 5 minutes, I think about 4 minutes. So I think this is a good time to kind of put in that little, like, I don't know, like plastic or lucite looking contraption with the numbers, because otherwise it won't read. So I'm just going to look for the lights and try to put those in. I do think I need some pink in this area too. So you can see that I'm just implying it. I'm not really like drawing it in. I think it would take a lot of my time, and I don't think I really have that. So let me come in and start filling in some of these spaces. Wait, let's go with this one. We're using this pink as our shadow. It's not quite right, but maybe not, because there's not enough pink in there. I mean, this is way brighter, so it doesn't quite make sense, but I'm okay with it. We're gonna stay here. We're just gonna go with it. So like 3 minutes. So it's a good time to take stock of what you have. What do we need? What's missing at this point? I don't know about this. This one I feel like really needs more time. For me at least. Maybe all of you guys are doing really terrific with this. I hope so. Definitely feel like I need more time on this one. There's a lot of shadow over here. Comes outside right there. Definitely realize now that I got my proportions a little off, so I'm okay with this. This looks weird, but I'm okay. We're going. We're still going. I'm bringing in some black. Oh. We are bringing in some black. I got a weird sound there. Don't know what that was. And really darken some of this stuff right here. We need like a little shadow underneath here too. Ooh, that didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. Whoops. I wanted that to be more like a shadow. Whoops. That's time. Sorry, I have a giant blob of ink here. So let me just kind of spread that out so it dries a little bit more quickly. Yeah, I had put like all this black down and then I realized it, it just blended in with the little feet or whatever that thing is. So that's all I got for that one. That was 10 minutes. I can always come back to this, and I think I will. Like when we're done drawing today, I'll probably come back and revisit this one so that I can, tweak it a little more. But that's what I finished in those 10 minutes. So I'm just going to give it a little, I'm trying to get it to dry so I can switch the page. Okay, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more. 4 more photos. So let's go ahead. Whoops, sorry. And switch over to the next one. I feel like we should do. So that we're taking that one away. This is the next one. Ooh, I'm excited about this one. But I do think this is a 10-minute drawing. Yeah, right? The pink and the brown does look really good together, right? I just feel like the acrylic markers look so good on craft paper. And originally when I started, when I kind of restarted my sketchbook practice, I want to say it was in 2021, I was using the Archer and Olive craft paper sketchbooks. Those are great sketchbooks, by the way. They're pricey, but they're great. And they had craft paper in them and like literally love them. I think I'm going to do like a sketchbook tour at some point of those older sketchbooks because I haven't really ever shown those, but those are the ones that I feel like I started posting pictures of those. And I think that really kind of helped grow my Instagram. I think that was like kind of a changing point for mine. And I really enjoyed those a lot. Let me just check in on the chat. Let's see. Symmetrical objects are your favorite, Datriana? That's awesome. I just feel like I can't quite get them. And something that I felt like has been helpful is this journal in particular. And this little chat we're having right now is really helpful at like me letting that dry a minute. But this journal, it's a moleskin bullet journal, but you can see it's got like little dots on it. That helps me, the dot grid pattern, super helpful in doing symmetrical objects because you can kind of like literally measure. So, but I do have a lot, oh my gosh, I wish I could have more like comfort in the symmetrical objects thing because they just give me so much trouble. So we're like opposites here. You've drawn this house before and you're thrilled to revisit it. Awesome. So you have drawn it. And it said that it's like in North Carolina or something. I think it's in North Carolina. It looks so cute. I'm just like so excited to draw this. Let's draw this again. I'm going to go ahead and just go over to another page because I would like to kind of combine a few images to create that like sketchbook spread. I'm going to skip this page because of that. And then I'll probably come back and either just draw here or paper over this. We'll see. And I think I'll just stick with these acrylic markers for right now, since they're all out and they're ready to go. So we're gonna do this little house, and I think this should be a 10-minute drawing. I know we're getting close to the end of our drawing session, which is usually we finish at 11:30. So if you don't quite finish yours, you can always just come back to them whenever you get time. And I'm ready to go. Let's start again. So for this one, I'm just going to really zone in. Sorry, I brought my iPad a little closer. I think I'm going to start over here, which is out of character for me, but we're going to do this anyway. And of course, as you guys know, with the acrylic markers, you know, something that's quite nice is that if you don't want to plan out the placement of objects that like overlap, you can just draw over them. So like I kind of made room for that little light post, but you don't need to because acrylic markers will just go straight over that. I'm just doing, this is like a lot. I don't know why I drew so big, because now I'm thinking that I'm not going to have enough time for all of this, but we'll do what we can in the time that we have. That's all we can do. So again, I'm just blocking everything in. This marker is like literally on its last leg. I think I need to get a new one. I don't really use my Poscas as much as I did when I first started my daily practice again, like I was mentioning on that craft paper book. So they don't get as much. Wow, that little plaque on the edge is not going to make an appearance here. I don't know if she's going to have room. They don't get as much like use as they used to. So we'll see if she gets replaced, but I mean, maybe this will inspire me to come back to them. This is pretty challenging. I love drawing architecture, but I especially like it when it's like a little wonky. Like that's my favorite. So if you're really worried about having really precise images, I mean, I would say don't be. I think that they develop so much charm when they're a little funny. Literally here. There we go. I don't know, there's something funny that happens there, but I don't know if I have time to figure it out. So again, I'm going to be using these colors. So I might not have colors that are true to what we're looking at. I'm not going to be using local colors per se. If I can leave room for that little plaque thingy. And you know, one of the things that I don't do this enough, but it's really cool. You can kind of like smudge your markers around. You got these, it's kind of like painting a little. Use. Ew, there's a little string that I can't get rid of. Let's see if I can use it. Yeah, this is going to be an impression of this house. Not quite right. I already see I missed things in the window. I don't have room for them. So we're going to do our own version of this cute little house. I don't know about that. That roof is a challenge. Bye, Raquel. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great weekend. So again, just doing this type of like impression of this roof. I know the roof is so much more complicated than this, but this will just imply it. We have 4 minutes left. Implying the bricks up here. Just a little. Now I can come in and add a little bit more. Let me put the windows here. It's a little bit much, but just use blue to put in these extra little details, and then I can define them with a little bit more of the gray that I used on the previous one. I don't know about that plaque. That just might not happen. Might not happen. Okay, so a little bit of white here. I really think I like the paper showing through in lieu of white, but we'll see. Oh, you know what I'm going to use? My pencil. Where did my pencil go? Here we go. I think this will be a nice addition here. So, like texturally, we'll add some new textures. My dog is making a lot of little slobbery sounds, so that is Lucy, not me, I promise. Just in case you thought I was making slobbery noises while I was drawing. Lucy, do you mind? Not everybody wants to hear that slobbery noise. My daughter hates the slobbery noises. Like, oh, she gets so triggered by it. And for me, I don't really always notice it. I mean, if a human were doing that, I would notice it. But if Lucy does it, for me, it's like, it's okay. But my daughter cannot stand it. It's too funny. See, I really wanted to use this pencil for these weird little grate thingies. I don't even know what those are. Like railings or something. I thought that would be fun to draw with. There. Oh, I'm shaking everything here. Settle down. Okay, Lucy, that's enough slurping sounds. We have, oh my gosh, like 1 minute. What is that, 2 minutes? 1 minute. 1 minute remaining. So take some stock of what you've got. Figure out what you want to do next. And try to prioritize those at this point so that we can, you know, maybe feel like your drawing has come to like a sense of completion by the time you're done. You might want that. Like here, I know I need something here because I didn't complete that. And then maybe define the shape of the building. I definitely need that. Try not to dip your hand into the wet Posca marker if you can avoid it. Definitely gonna have a wonky little house here. No, I want more time on this house. So if you feel like you need more time, you come back and play with that a little bit more. I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock here. And then let's do another one. Let's go. We're gonna go fast on these next ones so we can try to get the last 3 in. I'm gonna switch out this one for this new one. Yay. Okay, so let's put, I think we can do 5 minutes. Let's do 5 minutes on the clock for this one. 5 minutes, let's go. I'm gonna stick with markers. I think this is definitely, I mean, cars are another thing that I would say they're very challenging for me. I think the symmetry again, but I think this one's a little easier because it's just the front. So we'll see. We shall see. I could be wrong. I'm gonna outline this part, but I do want to leave that white. I'm not going to color it in. I'm going to stick with the blue for my darks. So instead of the black little tires, I'm going to use this blue. Whenever possible, I try not to use black. I don't mind black. It's just that I feel like black is very flat. And it just really doesn't, add much. I don't know. Maybe it does add something. I don't know. Even when I do my shadows and stuff with my pencil, like I don't use a black pencil. I'll use the indigo blue one. And I do like that a little better. What would be nice right here would be like an even lighter blue that I can use for this sort of like glass. Let's put some of that in here. Oh, that was easy. That's an easy logo. I had a minute there where I was like, uh-oh, I don't want to have to draw this logo, but it was not too terrible. This one doesn't work. Okay. Some light in here. This is honestly just really small, so I don't really have a lot of room to play on here for the details, but let me bring in my pencil already. Oh, I wanted a little bit of, I would like that orange for the lights, but I'm just going to use the pink because that's what I have in my palette. So we're going to stick with that. This was maybe a little too easy. It's like I feel like I really have to look for stuff to put in, and I think that that's probably a good thing for me. Like I didn't see these little mirrors, rear view mirrors, so just putting those in now. And this should go all the way across like that. All right, now I'm gonna do pencil. a few of these little empty spaces for the little, I don't know what those things are, little rivets of some sort. And let's put that little license. Normally love drawing those. That's time. But I'm just gonna shorten it because I ran out of time. Okay, so there is our last one. Sorry, one little bit here. That was what, 5 minutes. Nice, okay. I don't know about that, but we'll just move forward. So let's go ahead and turn the next one on. We are getting close to the end. We have this like wild rose that I thought would look really cute because of the colors. So we'll do, I think 5 minutes for that one would be perfect. 5 minutes on the clock. Let's go. So I'm going to try to position it so that I can put some of this stem in here. And then the last one is the apple core. If you guys saw that on the Patreon. So just keep that in mind. I think that'll be perfect, like room for the apple core. We'll see how this one goes because I don't know if I'm going to include all of these stems. I mean leaves, whatever they are. Those things that flowers grow. I feel like this drawing session was pretty invigorating. I'd been working a little bit slower, and even though I do my daily drawings that are 15 minutes or less, like this week I was doing a lot of drawings. So I was definitely daily drawing, but I wasn't really timing myself, and I was drawing for as long as I wanted because I had some extra time. So I don't feel like I was, forcing myself to think a little bit more loose, but I was trying to think a little bit more like less regimented about my compositions or my technique, because I had been using markers and putting everything on one side of the page. So I really tried to be a little bit more, loose about those expectations this week. And I think that was good for me. Oh my goodness. I can hear my mom's dog is next door, and I can hear him wanting to come in my house. He's begging outside. He's gonna have to leave. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna move Lucy real quick. Lucy, get out. Go, 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 go. Sorry. See, that took a whole minute. No, not even. Just kidding. There, I can hear my daughter went to go let him in. Don't worry, Henry won't be left outside in the cold. It's not even cold, but okay. This is not the colors that we would have like normally planned for, but I'm okay with that. It's just like an interpretation. Put a few of these leaves in because they can use that space quite nicely. I really want to draw that serrated edge of the flower, of the leaves, Erica, of the leaves, sorry. And put this in here. I'm going to try to color in between the little veins on the leaves. We have like 1 minute left. I think that's going to work out perfectly here. I'm going to try to get my pencil in right now since I have about a minute left. Oops, I missed that little part there. This leaf has that little fold, and then we have some serrations. I don't know, is that a word? Serrated edges. Like a little bread knife, a little serrated edge. Bring some into the flower so the flower doesn't feel out of place. I'm just going to leave this little center point light. I didn't have a yellow, or I hadn't chosen yellow. I do have yellow, but I was trying to stick with the same palette. So I didn't bring a yellow in for that center. I just opted for the blue that I already had. And I think it's fine. It reads. But I'm going to use a little bit of this pencil. Ooh, time's almost up. There we go. So that was 5 minutes. Put it right here. Oh my gosh, we're going to get to all of them today. Yay. And the last one. I know it's a little bit, yeah, timing is really challenging, Anka. I think, I don't know. It's fun to do because it challenges you in a different way, but it can also be like stressful if you take it too seriously. So I like to approach this when I do time drawing as like, you know, I'm looking forward to making some weird drawings. Maybe they're not going to be great, and that's okay too. The benefits of doing this is going to be like outside of the final product, right? So let's do our last one. I don't think this one will take too long, but if you need to hop off, if you need to go, by all means, please feel free to go at any point. This is the last one. I think this is going to be fast. So 5 minutes on the clock. Let's get going. I really like this one because, I don't know, drawing an apple core is just like so funny, and like it reminds me of like cartoons. This is like how apple cores always look. Beginning there. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and go in here. I was just thinking about, I don't know if you guys are all on TikTok and what your TikToks have, but oh my God, I've been on this like side of TikTok where I don't know if you've heard of this, so tell me if you have, or if not, that's fine if you don't mention, but I was just thinking about it and it just made me laugh just thinking about it. There's this like trend or like a prank on TikTok where women or girls, especially young girls, tell like, you know, their dads or, you know, their husbands or their brothers, a lot of them are brothers, that they are getting a job as an underwater welder. If you have heard of this, tell me, because I'm just like cracking up about that. It's so funny because they all approach it as if like they don't know anything about it, and that it's just like, oh, I just thought this would be a good opportunity there, and it's an apprenticeship and they're going to teach me. And the dads or the brothers are all like, do you know how dangerous that is? It is so funny. And the girls just pretend like they don't know just to prank them. But it is just hilarious. And if you've seen those, you know, I think they're so funny, but I don't know, maybe not everybody thinks they're funny. Like I was just thinking about that, how funny they are, which is ridiculous. But okay, I'm going to use this blue here for my stem. I might need my pencil. I think I'm going to need my pencil for sure on that one. And now I think I'm just going to leave it like that. And I'm going to come in here with my pencil and create a little bit of texture, especially here where we don't really get a lot of detail. So the colors are just so light, and I don't think any of the colors I have would work for it. So yes, Anka, that's what I'm thinking too. Like you're just thinking, you're just drawing. You're not thinking too much about it. And I like that, like over time you start to realize like what your interests really are when you start drawing. Like what are the things that you want to focus on as an artist, you know? What are the things that are your favorite things to draw? Like, are you just really excited to do the textures? Are you really excited to like outline the form? And I feel like that kind of helps you to develop your own style and your own like voice as an artist, because you start choosing the things that are important for you. And you know, that's different for everybody. So some artists love to draw like really detailed textures, and then some of them prefer to just leave outlines because they're not interested in all of that texture and detail. And I think that's what kind of helps you develop your own style, your own artistic voice. And I think that that can be really, really helpful in your artistic practice. Can really help you to find a place where you are making and you're loving and you're really embracing your own style and your own preferences as an artist. And for a really long time, I felt like I had to do really like, you know, rendered work, or like I had to make everything feel like, you know, as close to realism as I could. And then when I started drawing in my sketchbook in a much more loose and playful way, I started realizing like I don't want that. And I started drawing in a way that I liked better. And it wasn't the way that I had always been like conditioned to think I had to draw. So that really kind of opened things up for me and helped me to enjoy my creative practice a lot more than I did before. Like I never kept a sketchbook because I didn't necessarily feel like I wanted to draw every day, but now I feel like I want to draw every day. Like even if I run out, I don't have time, I just feel like I want to. And that's because I enjoy drawing now. Okay, that was the apple core. That was so fun. I love the apple core. I'm going to put today's the 24th. Oh my gosh. I thought it was the 23rd. So I'm going to just date my pages because I like to keep track of when I did them. I'm using the stamp that I got on Amazon, but I believe you can buy these at really any office supply store. Let me find that phone. Oh, she's already sticking to herself. Right here. And I also just kind of really enjoy the aesthetic of the stamp. So here's my phone. This was a 10 minutes, and you're seeing it right now, but I'm definitely going to work on it a little bit more, and I'm going to post the finished one at some point on Patreon for sure, possibly on Instagram. So I always post all my pictures, all my photos of my sketchbook, of the drawings that I do during our live streams on our Patreon. So even if you are, I think for that one, I'll even post it. It's available to everybody. So even if you're not a paid member on Patreon, you can still see those things through the free. You can be a free tier patron. So you just can see the things that I post for everyone. So this is my first initial spread, right? That little cat who definitely, I think I would like to do a little bit more on him, but I don't know. I mean, did I really like that cat? I'm not sure. The cherries, the little camera, and the tulips. If I could make any changes to this, I would like to see some green on this side of the page to make them feel a little more harmonious, and possibly a little bit of that red over here. So that's what I would do if I do decide to come back and work a little bit more on here. And then the last spread is like fluorescent. You can see my house didn't get enough love, so I do like this spread quite a bit. I will probably work on this a little bit more and then post this one on Patreon, and possibly, I think even on Instagram. I really like the apple. The apple's the fun part for me. I might do more apple drawings like that because that was fun. So that's all we did here, but we did a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drawings today. I filled up three spreads actually. So, I mean, I feel like really productive. I got a lot of work in. Let me switch over here to our chat. We can see my hair is like half falling down. I felt my ponytail holder like break while we were drawing. So this is the size of my journal in case you need like a scale for reference. So this is the spread overall. You can see the scale's fairly small. So I mean, I think the size of Sketchbook is really working for me. I do every now and then like to draw a little bit bigger so you can see how big this is. Yes, thank you so much for being here, Anka. Yeah, I'm gonna also do some more details on my wild sketches too. So we'll be able to, like, we have these starting points and now you can come back and refine them if you like. And I hope you felt like this like time session was really helpful for you, or maybe you know, kind of was helpful for you. It might not have been everything that like you enjoy, but it's a different way of practicing, and that could be really helpful in developing your own style and your own practice for this. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you guys keeping me company as I drew my sketchbook this morning. Just as a little reminder, I will be having another live stream on Wednesday, and that one is going to be in the evening for me, Central Time. So that might make it morning-ish for you guys in Europe. And I don't know if that will work for you. I hope so. But it will be at, I want to say we're going to do 8 p.m. Central Time. So I don't know, deduct or add hours. The time zones kind of like trip me out sometimes. So if you can, join me if you want to come for another one. And hopefully I will see you then. And if you'd like to, the replay for this video will be available right away. So as soon as we log off, you know, YouTube takes a few minutes to process it, and then you can come back and watch it again. You can pause and fast forward and move through it as much as you like. And again, if you need the reference photos, don't forget that they're on the Patreon. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys had fun. And until next time, I will see you later. Happy drawing.